Lack of money is certainly a problem, and many people face this problem in life. At least many of them think that it is relevant for them, and obviously they have every reason to believe so. However, this problem, as well as many others, can be easily solved, if of course you know how to do it. But let's first look at the problem of lack of money, from the point of view of its regularity, figure out whether this problem really lies in money, and only then see what can be done to have enough money. First of all, it should be noted that this problem is relevant for people all over the world, because this is a world of unequal personal qualities and, consequently, unequal opportunities for people. Of course, there cannot be an equal distribution of material goods, which in abundance are the property of only a small group of people, while the rest are forced to be content with crumbs. Money is, of course, a means of exchange, but to a greater extent it is a means of stimulating people. For people in power, money plays the role of strings, like those with which a puppeteer controls the dolls. In my article, which is called Big Money, I write about the opportunities, using which you can come to this very big money, but I do not forget to also emphasize in my articles that by striving for money, you are playing someone else's game. And this means that you are forced to compete with millions of other people for a place in the sun. Everyone wants a lot of money, or at least enough money for a normal life by definition of each of us. But not everyone can be rich. Everyone can, but not everyone. This fact has a fundamental basis. Someone will always be among the service personnel for the elite of society. That is, lack of money will always be a pressing problem for someone, and each of you should think, first of all, about not being among those who will not have enough, that's all. And for this, friends, you should not rely on anyone except yourselves. There is no party, no political or economic system that can lead everyone to a bright future. These are all illusions that people are fed. Only you and everything connected with you have an impact on your financial situation. If you are experiencing a shortage of money, then it is obvious that you know little about it, but no one is stopping you from finding out. This site and numerous books help to do this. I am not afraid to share everything I know myself, because even without being in the place under the sun where I would like to be, I do not consider myself weak and stupid, so as not to reach the highest and most privileged heights in this life. Such people are friends, are not afraid to tell about something that will make your life better, and believe me, money is far from the most important thing in life. You yourself are much more important. As I have always said and say, there are people who no matter how much money you give them, they will all fall like into a bottomless pit, and there will be no particular benefit from them. And there are people who simply attract money to themselves, around whom there is always solid good. Well, what is more important, to be such a person, or to have a lot of money? Is there always not enough money? People who lack money often say that there is never enough of it, and in general it is enough, a catchphrase. If you have read my other articles and understood their general essence, then you probably already understand what I can say about this. The only thing that can really be lacking is intelligence. That is what can really be lacking. In general, there is a certain environment in which there will never really be a lot of money, except perhaps in very rare cases. Well, let's take hired labor as an example, for which we train for as long as 15 years, which is quite understandable. Without such a long training, no one will work for another uncle. Read my article called Work for Money to fully understand the meaninglessness of hired labor, from the point of view of achieving a decent life through it. In this environment, a lack of money is a common thing, and while some are living it up at prestigious world resorts, others are counting pennies and trying to survive. Of course, if you work for money for someone else, then this money will always be insufficient, because in this case you are working for someone else's benefit, but not for your own. I know that many who read this article are such people, and I know how you are overwhelmed with discontent in such a situation, how everything is boiling inside you. When I worked for hire, I felt like I was in hell, and it probably was a real hell, living and working for someone else, content with crumbs, this is hell. But the blame for such a life lies entirely with us. If we do not have enough money, if our life is terrible, then by God, we do not catch up with something, that's all. As it turned out later, I did not catch up with a lot of things, I simply did not catch up with a lot, among which I was forced to be a doormat for others until I changed my life. Rich people are not born, dear friends. Remember this. You can be born into a rich family, but not rich. Because wealth is in a person's head, not in his pocket. If you are short of money, then the first thing you should do is your head. People have scoured the entire internet in search of some magic schemes, in search of an answer to the question, what to do. I know that most people do exactly this, trying to solve the problem of lack of money without changing themselves, but looking for something special. I can recommend a book to a person, which I have done many times, so that he learns how to manage money, from the moment you earn it to the moment you part with it. But if a person is not able to get the essence of the book, if he tears out individual words or phrases, it will not teach him anything, and will be much more useful to him as toilet paper. Understand the essence of the problem. If you have little money, if you don't have enough, this directly testifies to your intelligence, in a negative sense. Let this understanding not offend you. What's the point of being offended if it does not fix anything? What is, a smart person has money, a stupid person does not, period. This is the essence of the problem, and any serious person who really teaches other people to make money, no matter how, is trying to explain this, approaching this thesis from different points of view. Well, you can't just tell a person straight out that he is stupid if he has problems with money. People will not understand this, they will be offended, angry. In general, they will perceive this information not as the truth, but as something negative, and in this case you will not help them. But of course you need to bring a person to this. You need to teach him to hold a fishing rod and catch fish if you want to feed him, and not throw him some consoling little fish that are one tooth. By the way, I wrote about this in my article called How to Attract Money. These two articles have almost the same meaning, it's just that in this article we are analyzing a situation in which the problem with money is already relevant, when it, so to speak, works at full capacity, poisoning a person's life. It's clear that none of us is going to die of hunger, if there is no money, at least somehow, but most of us will earn it. But many of the ways to solve this problem will not solve the problem of a lack of money. This is when there is money, but damn it, there is not enough of it. Do you know what people expect from me when they ask a question about how they can increase their money? They are waiting for me to show them the field of miracles, like the one where Buratino lost his gold. What kind of intelligence, what kind of understanding of where to shove your pennies to get millions? That's what interests people. This need, of course, does not go unnoticed by those who are not averse to making a buck on inadequate people. Super opportunities were and are still there. What can you offer other people so that they pay you money for it? Everyone in this world sells something. Being a seller is what you should strive for, but not for the seller who sells socks at the market or sausages in the store, but for the seller who can sell everything and everyone. Pay attention to the people who earn big money on the internet and do not particularly strain themselves for this. They all sell something that others buy. Here you have money, and it can be not just big, but huge money, and you can earn it anywhere, of course, not only on the internet. The only difference may be that some sell worthwhile goods, and others sell various kinds of miracle things, that is, miracle crap, some kind of magical crap, which, oddly enough, many people fall for. Even the banal purchase of points on social networks frankly amazes me. Isn't it stupid, tell me, to buy virtual crap? In life, everything is the same. People spend their money on trash, and then are surprised that they do not have it, or have little. While some solve the problem of lack of money, others aggravate it, and the result in both cases is natural, even predictable. Do you understand the essence of the problem? Do you need more money too? This is a truly philosophical question, not because it is so complicated, but because the answer to it is very difficult to find or make it more or less intelligible. Do you think that only the poor experience a shortage of money? No, not so. Many experience a shortage, even those who seem to have plenty of it. But of course, from their subjective point of view, a shortage does exist. In fact, everyone has exactly as much money as they need at the moment. I wrote about this in an article called Money and Evil, in which I clearly emphasized that some people do not really need too much money. Or rather, we all need money in large quantities, at least we want it, but not all of us have grown up to it, and therefore it is contraindicated for some of us. And if you are not up to them, they will be evil for you, because they will cause more troubles than good. I have witnessed this many times. If you want to kill a fool, give him money, he will quickly find himself troubles equivalent to the amount of money given to him. In order not to injure your ego and not to accidentally think anything bad about yourself, ask a very good question, not to yourself, but to other people. Why do these people, need money? What will they do with it? I assure you, dear readers, in most cases, your attention will be drawn to the dream of an idiot, even if it is seemingly of a very noble nature. Well, I have already written about the starving children of Africa, dying of hunger. They must of course be saved, and then feed the children of their children, their grandchildren, and so on. But still, idiotic dreams are mostly selfish in nature. However, being reasonable, you can always understand that you shouldn't give this person money, especially a lot. By God, you shouldn't. That's why, in the vast majority of cases, a lack of money, so to speak, is even useful, stimulating a person to grow, if of course he doesn't want to choose too easy a path for himself. Once, to earn money, I worked, about the same as now, but not on a voluntary basis, but out of necessity. And work is such a precarious thing that today it is there, and tomorrow it is gone, and what is left to do? This question once arose before me, and I was very puzzled, because I really needed money, but the work with which I earned it had already ceased to be profitable, it had died altogether. That's when I realized that I needed to learn to sell, and until I learned this, I would not have money, or it would not be enough. It is clear that in order to earn big money, in addition to sales, you need to learn to attract, which also requires special skills. But at the heart of all this, there is a fundamental need to change your own thinking, which my lines on each page of this site will help you do, which you need to think about. The right approach. In my article entitled Money Addiction, I write about how money overpowers the human mind, making it dependent on it. And it doesn't matter whether you have a lot of money or a little, the lack of money that you think you have in your case will contribute to your constant thinking about it. But this is the wrong approach, because why think about the byproduct, about the consequence? In our hierarchy, it is important to think about your social position, and not about money. They, as they say, will be added to the right backbone. I can sell a lot, but I don't sell everything, only what people really need, for which they will pay money and receive 10 times more, or even more. That is why I sell a lot. And on this site I will also sell, now my products, my goods, for which people will pay, because it will not be a miracle thing, but a useful product. But still I must tell you the truth, according to which the most valuable, as a rule, does not cost much. Well, did you pay me anything for this article, or for my other articles? No, I do not ask you for money, and at the same time I have enough of it. Why do you think? Because I am not greedy, and I urge you not to be like that. Then you will have enough money, because you will not go crazy for it. This is the right approach to solving the problem of lack of money. You should not think about them, not noticing anything around you. You should think about yourself and your qualities, as well as about people. They pay you money. It's so simple and obvious that, frankly, telling you about it, I can't help but be amazed at the stupidity of some people. because of which they are ready to do anything for money, so to speak. They will hang themselves for a penny. Smear yourself with honey and go out into an open field, and you will immediately be covered with bees. This is a fact, this is the law, this is obvious. But you don't need bees at all, this is clear, but money sticks to a person by the same principle. There is no need to think about bees in order to attract them by smearing yourself with honey. There is no need to think about money so that it flows to you in endless streams. I trust those people who are fully responsible for everything they say or do. I am ready to buy from them something that I really need. But I won't buy anything from a person who will claim that something connected with him doesn't depend on him, that he is not guilty, and therefore, what kind of demand can be made of him? But the majority of people are such that no matter who you come and start cooperating with, everyone is fucking slacking off. Normal people who are really responsible, you can't find them with fire and daylight. Most of our types of business are exactly like that. It's a fucking slacker job that sometimes has to be used, for lack of anything better. And they also say that all our niches are occupied, but why the hell are they occupied? If there are idiots sitting there, start working in any industry properly, and if you are not pressed, you will certainly rise. But the issue of putting pressure on competitors can be resolved if you approach the matter wisely. Therefore, I can't say that the lack of money has an external nature, and what I wrote at the beginning of the article, about the elite society, directly indicates that being an exception is sometimes very useful. You can't get into the elite if you're a donkey. People with a brain get there, even if they look like idiots on the outside. They don't have to correspond to generally accepted concepts of a correct person, because such a person is usually a beggar and lives according to God's laws, which have nothing to do with real life.